Welcome to the Daily Dose of Dairy Live, Trends in Yogurt and Cultured Dairy Products. This presentation was first given on March 27, 2019 at Pro Food Tech in Chicago. Thank you very much to the sponsors, Delcor Systems. If you happen to be attending Pro Food Tech, please stop by their booth 621. So let's go ahead and begin. To start, I'd first like to give you a little background on myself. My name is Donna Berry. I am a degreed food scientist, and I've been working in the food trade for more than 25 years. To give you an idea of what has taken place in the past 25 years, when I started writing for the food industry, this nutrition facts label did not exist. Manufacturers were pretty much able to put whatever they wanted on package labels without much regulation. So again, this is something that has taken place only in the past 25 years. The Dean's Milk Chug also was not out yet, and there was a term called ice milk. It was actually a legal term in the frozen desserts category. Wells Enterprises, which is makes Blue Bunny ice cream, actually was making yogurt and fluid milk, among other dairy products. Breyers was a brand of yogurt. And Greek yogurt was something that Yaya used to make tzatziki for when she made authentic Greek cuisine in her home kitchen. And guess what? Ben & Jerry owned Ben & Jerry's ice cream. And this is my favorite, the frozen novelties category. Back in the day, these kind of products were loaded with artificial dyes that would color kids' mouths for days and stain their clothes and their fingers. And guess what? Moms and dads did not freak out about the fact that they contained artificial dyes. So a lot has really changed in the last 25 years. In addition, these products have entered our house and our homes and our stores and our lives. Beans, legumes, nuts, things that are squeezed, soaked, and converted into a fluid product that competes with cow's milk. There's a lot of opportunity here for dairy processors, but at the same time, it is often viewed as a competitive product. But let's explore a little bit more how maybe we can work with these products in our innovation. What else has changed? And this is actually something that's going on right now, which is why it's so important to stay on top of creating products and offering products that are relevant to today's shoppers, today's consumers. We're eating on the go, walking, running, we're living longer, we're defying aging. We want products that help us improve our health and wellness. We're shopping online. That intersection between seeing product at the grocery store shelf and actually purchasing product, that it has changed. The whole dynamic of shopping for food and eating for food, or eating our food, has changed, and we need to, again, stay relevant and on top of how to interact with today's consumers. So I would like to provide you with 6 inspirations, innovation inspirations is what I like to call them, for the yogurt and cultured dairy products category. The first is going to be products for babies, tots, and youngsters. Then there's culinary influence indulgence, seasonal limited edition, health and wellness, snacking mini meals, on-the-go convenience, and then the story, the farm to product to package to retail display. So let's go ahead and start with babies, tots, and youngsters. This, in fact, is probably one of the greatest opportunities for the yogurt cultured dairy products segment. This line here actually just made its debut at Expo West early this March. It's called Brainiac, and it is a line of yogurt products that come in drinkable format, cup format, and even squeeze tube format, that is designed for supports brain development, for brain health of youngsters. It's loaded with omega-3s, choline, probiotic, and various nutrients, again, for healthy growth and development. And the product has been formulated to contain 40% less sugar and 50% more protein. So very different way of targeting kids, and probably, again, like I say, one of the biggest opportunities right now in the yogurt category. Here's another product, recognizing that the children's segment is an opportunity. Chobani has expanded its lineup and has this whole range of products under the Gimmies brand. It too has a drinkable product and a squeeze tube product. They also have the pouch, which is really great for little ones because it prevents spills and messes. And then they have a dual compartment product where there's mix-ins that for interactivity, which of course kids love to do. And here you can see some more products. Stonyfield was actually one of the forerunners in the yogurt category for kids. In fact, my kids, my oldest one is 19 years old, and Yo Baby really made its debut. I actually like to always think that it was meant for him. Yo Baby came out about 20 years ago, and it was a whole milk yogurt, again, lower in sugar and targeted to little ones' taste buds. And here you can see now Stonyfield has added Yo Baby Veggie, where it's purple carrot and sweet potato in the product instead of a fruit mix-in. And then for some interactivity, because of course older kids love to play with their food, there's a snack pack which has yogurt and then pretzels to dip in. And you can see Go-Gurt here, that's a Yoplait brand. They have Dunkers, which are basically Graham's cracker sticks where you dip into the yogurt. So moving on to culinary influence and indulgence. First of all, right now, a lot of what's going on in the yogurt category is a higher fat whole milk product, mostly because it tastes really good. But the fat actually helps satiate, so it's a more satisfying, filling product. And couple that with sometimes a higher protein product, and you really have a meal in a cup to go. So this whole culinary influence indulgence has to do with flavors that are a little bit more adult focused versus the kid products that I just mentioned. And you can see here Wallaby Organic, which now is a Danone brand. There's flavors such as spiced peach, strawberry, red wine, and caramelized pineapple. And they're calling this product an Aussie cream yogurt. This is also a Danone brand under the Oikos line, which for long has been a Greek yogurt brand. Here it is a kind of a sub-segment brand called Oikos O, and it's a double cream yogurt. So it's extra fat, extra indulgence, sauce on the bottom, and some of those varieties are honey drizzled blueberry, salt dusted caramel cream, lemon sweet cream delight. So again, going for an adult palate, providing indulgence as well as nutrition. This is a product over in the UK, and it's definitely worth a mention. It's not something that you would consume probably in large quantities, but it is something for actually culinary for yourself in the kitchen. The Veggie Plot yogurt, it's called. Savory yogurt for foodies. And some of the varieties are avocado and lime juice, beetroot with cumin, and cucumber and dill. So these might function as dips, as sauces, and just, a different way to maybe cook in the kitchen and add a touch of healthfulness by using yogurt versus maybe a full-fat cream or a sour cream. But again, the flavors are infused, so it gives you an opportunity for the adult to have some interactivity. Still with the indulgence sector, these glass jars have really started trending in the yogurt category. Not only do they visually communicate the deliciousness inside, but many of them are prepared in what, like the Oui brand, a Yoplait brand, is a French style yogurt where it's a set in the cup yogurt, and it gives the product a more indulgent, delicious, creamy texture. And again, the glass jar, the transparent jar, communicates this to the consumer and really gets their taste buds, going when they see it at the grocery store shelf. I mean, it looks like something, hey, I'd like to try this. And then, adding different kinds of flavors and thinking outside of the box of what your traditional flavors are. Yoplait has this Dunkin' brand that they've come out with, and again, the culinary influence being these donut flavored products, but they really do taste like the real thing. I mean, this apple fritter yogurt, you would think that you were having an apple fritter from Dunkin' Donuts. All you need is a cup of their coffee on the side, and in fact, you're eating instead a protein satiating, nutritionally dense food. Muller here in the UK has these Italian inspired line, Light Amore it's being called. It is a lower fat product, but the flavors that are being used are super indulgent and supposed to be reminiscent of various desserts, Italian inspired desserts. And then Ellie has come out with recently a dome cup product where the flavors are, here you see the peanut butter and jelly, but there are some other more indulgent flavors where some of the added nutrition is actually coming in from those mix-ins, which is a combination of nuts and seeds, and then dried fruits and chocolate pieces and good stuff like that. This is actually a quark product versus a yogurt product. But again, the whole culinary influence and indulgent aspect of the cultured dairy product segment. So this here is less of being a culinary product and more of a culinary product for you to work with, much like those veggie plot yogurts that I just showed you a little while ago. Brown's Dairy is in Australia, and this is a squeezable yogurt. It's top-down yogurt, much like you might have a ketchup bottle or a mustard bottle, where you just kind of squeeze the product on. These come in different flavors, strawberry, vanilla bean, but the idea is to really bring yogurt then into a more into a new category by making it a condiment, and maybe like the vanilla bean would be something that you would drizzle over a hot, peach cobbler when it comes out of the oven to add, again, it's adding some nutrition as well as dairy deliciousness. And that whole thing about bringing yogurt into the condiment category, that's what Chobani is doing with its squeezable product. It's squeezable Greek yogurt, it being positioned as 75% less fat than sour cream. This is a whole milk yogurt. The difference between these two products is the Brown's product is actually a firm bottle, so it stands up straight, whereas the Chobani product it's a flexible film, and so much like some toothpaste out there, it starts to lose its shape when it's sitting in your refrigerator. So two different approaches of making yogurt a squeezable product. And last but not least, well, actually, here's another approach as a squeezable product. This is a cream cheese. Dijon's is a European company, and they're seasoning cream cheese and putting it in this pouch type product that is resealable, and it's cream cheese and cooking, and it comes in various flavors. There's one that's designed for topping on steak. There's a cream cheese and dill, which is designed for adding flavor to fish, maybe like a salmon, as well as the accompanying mashed potatoes. So taking cream cheese, adding seasonings, and then again giving it a condiment flair. And then this dip product on the side here, what's really interesting about this is that it's a combination, it's basically hummus and cream cheese together. It's a bean and dairy product. It's the fusion of plant-based and dairy-based all in one. And again, it's pickled dips. Pickle is actually a very trending flavor right now, and here it is in a dip format. And as much as you can dip your chip or your carrot or celery into this, these also make great condiments and cooking sauces. Okay, moving on to number 3, seasonal limited edition. By far, Yoplait does a fabulous job of this. They've been doing it for a long time, and they continue to expand the times of year and the holidays and even the partnerships that they make when they come out with these seasonal limited edition products. You could see this campaign that last year, summer flavors are back. Actually, over the last couple years, they've had various summer flavors, not all of these at once, and last year they kind of brought them all back with this very large campaign. Then they've done things where they have teamed up with the Girl Scouts during cookie time of year and come up with those flavors. The beauty of seasonal and limited edition is it creates this urgency to purchase, and it's something that is going on across all food categories, and dairy is doing the same. I mean, it's happening in ice cream. It does a great job in flavored and fluid milk, and now here you can see it in yogurt. But the consumer sees at the store that the product is only going to be out for a certain amount of time. I mean, these summer flavors are only going to be here for a couple months. Gosh knows, in Chicago where we are now, if we ever get summer, we're hoping to have some of these summer flavors back. But nevertheless, it creates some urgency for the consumer to dip into their product, buy the product now, because the next time at the store it might not be there. See where this is actually being done by multiple brands. Friendly Farms, this is Aldi's private label brand, and recently over the winter months they had a eggnog Greek yogurt and a cranberry product and this mint chocolate chip, all of them being flagged as limited batch. Green Mountain Creamery had pumpkin pie, and this is just a really small example of all of the options out there. But again, creating that urgency to purchase is something that today's consumer really embraces and wants to be part of. It's something to talk about. Okay, moving on to health and wellness, which is probably the biggest category. Health and wellness, in yogurt inherently is a health and wellness product. So many companies are now trying to take it a step more, and add extra layers of better for you into their product. One of them you could see probiotic. Of course, probiotics has been in yogurt for a long time, but flagging it and making content claims is becoming a little more trendy. Nancy's here has their yogurt, 41 billion live probiotics in every serving, and they make sure they test this product that they're delivering. They also are differentiating by using grass-fed milk, whole milk in fact, and they tell the entire story on the side of the carton how grass-fed milk is higher in omega-3 fatty acids, which are associated with brain health and brain development for little ones, and for adults, memory. You can even see with their products, they're taking it another step forward in some of the flavors that they're using. They're adding various herbs to it. Like here, there's blueberry lavender, which in fact this would have maybe some soothing properties to consumers. This Peak Triple Cream plain yogurt here, milk raised from pasture-raised cows. So again, telling that farm to product story. This is a 17% milk fat product. I mentioned earlier how a lot of yogurts are trending towards whole milk. Well, this is taking it another layer because it's a triple cream yogurt. But these products are really going after many of the folks who are on the low carb dieters. And if there's no added sugar in it, it's going after the keto dieter, which is it's a huge opportunity right now for the dairy industry. If you're not familiar with what the keto diet is, it's 65 to 70% or so fat. The protein component is about 25 to 30%, and really, ideally, you're keeping carbs under 10%, even better, under 5%, and most of the time that 5% of carbs is coming from inherent sugars in products, not added sugars. So many of these products you'll see are all about no sugar being added, and being all about the delicious whole fat, the cream, and then the protein. This Sola product here, it says lose the sugar, not the taste. This is a product actually being designed for low glycemic diets. And then the YQ from Yoplait. This is a product made with ultra filtered milk to increase the protein content, and they're also keeping the sugar low. Health and wellness here, this one here is kind of fun and entertaining. It's a yogurt infused with hemp seed oil, which is naturally full of omega fatty acids. Had you gone to Expo West in early March, you would have seen how much hemp seed and that whole category is just booming. And here's a product with it in yogurt. And I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we see more products like that. This longevity product here is a line of Greek yogurts enhanced with grape polyphenols. Again, all about adding that extra layer of better for you to what is already a better for you product. And then I mentioned how no sugar added or lowering sugar is definitely trending in yogurt, and you could see multiple products here. The Siggi's Simple Sides goes as far as having a side dish or in the dual compartment of ingredients, again, with no added sugars. So here there's apples, almonds, and oats. So you're adding all this whole food nutrition without any extra empty sugar calories. And A2 milk, it's something that, especially here in the U.S., it's been around for a while in the fluid category and really slow to take on. It's a niche product, definitely has a consumer base, but it's not as growing as quickly as I think many anticipated that it would. We're now starting to see that A2 cow's milk being used in yogurt, and being positioned as a easier to digest, better for you product. Here are two items that made their debut at Expo West again. Both of them are whole milk yogurts. So this easier to digest, full fat, no added sugar, because these are plain products. There's low fat, and well, there's low fat and there's whole milk, but no added fruit. It's just a plain product. And without making any, claims on their product, it is being targeted to the keto or the low carb dieter. And then finally, I showed that slide at the beginning of the nuts and the seeds and the legumes all being turned into a liquid product to compete with cow's milk. And that's something that the, cultured dairy products segment cannot ignore. It truly is happening. That those products are stealing shelf space from cow's milk products. But what is interesting is how many dairy brands are also getting into the non-dairy segment. And this makes a lot of sense because for starters, one, you're keeping dairy brands in the dairy case. But on that same note, there is this familiarity for consumers who may want to be decreasing their dairy intake, or in other words, increasing their plant-based food intake for whatever reasons. Maybe they're health concerns, maybe it's environmental, real or perceived. It's happening, and it is today's consumers, so we can no longer deny it. But they have this relationship with dairy brands that they've come to love and respect and trust. And by offering a non-dairy product, these dairy brands are keeping their name relevant to today's shopper. And it might be a person who's buying for multiple folks in a household, and they go to like here, Chobani. I mean, they go to the Chobani section of the dairy case and they pick up the dairy product that some people want, and then they pick up the non-dairy product for the others in the household. So it is an opportunity for dairy brands, again, to stay relevant to the many varied and continuously varying needs of today's shopper. And we can't talk about the cultured dairy segment without really mentioning what's going on in cottage cheese. While it's not taking off as quickly as I would like to see, because I mean cottage cheese truly is the original high protein dairy food, there are now multiple dairy brands that you can find in most retailer cases in single serve packages of cottage cheese, maybe with mix-ins that are either nuts or seeds, or products with fruit in a side compartment or in the bottom. And then you can actually see Good Culture just rolled out what it's calling a double cream classic. So look at this, surprise, surprise, it's higher milk fat, 6% milk fat, higher protein, 14 grams of protein. And going after, you guessed it, the keto dieter. This is a plain product. There's no fruit or any additional ingredients, so there's no added sugars in it. It, as the label says, is simply cottage cheese. Moving on to snacking, mini meals, and on-the-go convenience. Again, when I mentioned that yogurt is the original health and wellness food, or one of the original high protein foods, that is in fact very true, and it's also one of the original snacking foods. So many products come in convenient single serve cups or tubes, whatever, but here's taking it to the next level. This Farmer's Land Breakfast Bowl is a product in the UK, and it is a frozen product with fruits and muesli, and then these little balls of Greek-style yogurt that are frozen, and you can then the night before take it out of your freezer and put it in the fridge to thaw, or you can actually microwave it for a little bit and mix it up. It kind of is that same concept of overnight oats, but here we are talking about using Greek-style yogurt. And then Quaker has come out with these morning go kits where there's a little cup of yogurt, some high fiber, high protein, like breakfast cookies, and then a packet of dried nuts or dried fruit and nuts that you can either eat alone or mix into the yogurt. But it's this whole morning go kit for on-the-go convenience. And then putting yogurt or even Quark or some other cultured dairy product into a pouch, and not necessarily targeting children, which again, the pouch is ideal for little ones because it doesn't spill, it doesn't squirt unless they squeeze it at you and point it at you. But these are products here that are targeted to adults. We have powerful smoothie, 20 grams of protein in one pouch. Pillars now has a whole milk Greek yogurt, and even though there is a kid on the package, it is definitely designed for both adults and kids, and it's loaded with prebiotics and probiotics. And then the Oikos brand now has this 000 Go pack, 10 grams of protein in every package, 0 added sugars, 0 fat, 0 artificial sweeteners, loaded with various vitamins, including B6 and B12, so it's more of an energizing yogurt product for on the go. And this truly is actually one of my favorite products. It's been around for a while, but in recent years, it's a West Coast company. They've expanded distribution, and it's actually even available here in the Midwest in Chicago, where I am. And this is called, it actually is called Slingshot. They just rebranded and calling it Slingshot Shake, or actually Slingshot Rise Shake, because it is designed as being an on-the-go breakfast. And as you can see with this package, which actually is a patented design, it has this tube or like a sachet of oats and seeds and nuts in it. And the product is designed, you take the tube off around the neck of the bottle, you open up the bottle, pour it into the bottle and shake it up, and you basically have a whole grain, prebiotic, probiotic, high protein yogurt on the go. And here are a few more concepts. In the middle here, you see Joe Froyo. This is, they're calling it functional cold brew. It's kind of in between a culture or a milk and a yogurt, because it is a cultured milk, a lactose-free cultured milk, have that be. And it's blended with cold brew coffee with extra caffeine, so it truly is an energy type beverage. It's also loaded with probiotics and protein, and it's an on-the-go coffee, breakfast, whatever have you. It's got everything in it, and again, functional cold brew is how it's being branded. True Energy here from Lifeway, a probiotic protein smoothie, and the Lifeway had actually teamed up with a gym, a fitness facility, which is growing in its chains across the country to create this product that is really, it's only being sold at those gyms. And again, it's a refueling type yogurt beverage. And then Dairy Farmers of America, under the Kemp's label, they have this Live Real Farms mixed berry wholesome smoothie. It's a portable drinkable yogurt loaded with probiotics as well as protein, and again, no added sugars. It's made with real fruit. And then lastly, I would like to wrap up this presentation with, like I said earlier, with a big thank you to Delcor for its sponsorship. If you are attending Pro Food Tech, please visit them at booth 621 or visit their website to learn more about the Turbo Case. To tell you a little bit more about the Turbo Case, in early 2019, Kroger officially transitioned its entire single-serve yogurt and sour cream offerings to Delcor's patented shelf-ready package design, which is the Delcor Turbo Case. Kroger, like Walmart, is moving to smaller shelf-ready displays, and the company felt that the Turbo Case was the best to meet shelf display goals within the dairy products category. As Kroger's preferred retail package design for dairy, the Turbo Case enables Kroger and other producers to ship multiple retail display trays in a single shrink-wrapped shipper. A single top member bridges over the top of 2 or more display cases to provide excellent package integrity throughout distribution. So on the environmental side, though, this Turbo Case has a really beautiful story. The design helps save 50 to 70% in corrugated materials compared to standard shipping cases. So much of the dairy products industry is about the story that goes into the product, from the farm to the product to the package, and again, even to that retail display. So let's go ahead and wrap up. What are the key takeaways from today's presentation? Keep the consumer engaged with flavor. The kids market is a huge, huge opportunity. I can't emphasize that enough. With that said, when you're creating for kids or adults alike, you need to keep sugars and labels clean and simple. And then add nutritional value, especially to those portable products. Make them breakfast replacements, meal replacements, refueling products. And never forget to tell the farm to table story. Thank you very much for joining me, and I hope that this has provided you some innovation inspiration.